We all know that part of owning a rental property is making repairs to that property. And sometimes that can mean a lot of big repairs and sometimes not so much. But if you're doing your planning, how much should you budget for repairs in 2025 for your rental property? That's what we're talking about today, so stay tuned. Hi there, I'm Sue Richey. Welcome back to my channel. We talk all about real estate property management. I'm a real estate investor and the owner of Richey Property Management here in Northern Virginia. Now, we manage almost 1,000 residential rental properties for our owners. And one of our goals for our clients is to really be efficient with their money. Their money that we spend on repairs, we spend that on behalf of our clients, and no one wants to spend a lot on repairs. And there are a number of things that can affect how much you will spend or that you should budget for repairs on your rental property. Okay, first of all, let's talk about a ballpark. Let's talk about the 1% rule. This is a very general guideline in property management, but basically it suggests that you budget about 1% of the total value of your rental property for repairs. So let's say your property is worth $300,000, and that means you would budget about $3,000 annually for repairs, right? Pretty simple. But like I said, there are definitely some factors that can bump that number up or down. So let's take a look at those factors that might make or break your rental property budget. And you want to keep these in mind when you're doing your planning each year. Okay, so first you want to look at the age of the property. Age of the property definitely affects how much repair you might have. So if you've got an older property, sure, they really are beautiful and charming, but they can definitely eat up your budget. Now, there's older plumbing, there's aging roofs, there's outdated electrical systems, and so on. So you might need to budget a lot more for a property like that, especially if it's over 20 years old. And you might want to put yourself in maybe that 2% number as a repair budget. Now, of course, the age itself doesn't matter if you have updated the property along the way. So even if it was older and you've updated the systems and the appliances and things like that, then certainly that's going to bring your annual expense number down. But it can't hurt to have a budget with extra money in it if you need it, right? Better that you have extra in there that you didn't need or didn't use rather than have not enough and then you get stressed out. Make sure you have plenty of money for those unexpected repairs too, because you can just continue to build up that account and then you've got money for nice upgrades as well in the future. The second thing that can affect your budget is your tenant's wear and tear. Now, as a landlord, you definitely have to expect that there's going to be some general wear and tear that you're going to have to address, kind of at each tenant turnover. But hopefully it's on the minimal side. You have to think about how your tenants use the space. So if you've got a single professional who lives there, they travel a lot for work, they're hardly ever there, well, that's ideal, right? Probably you're looking at very minimal wear and tear. On the other hand, if you've got a property and you've got a great family in there with kids and pets, generally you're looking at more wear and tear. So as long as, they're good tenants, it doesn't matter, it's fine. It's just that you have to understand that certain people are going to have more wear and tear, and you need to factor that into your budget. The next factor that can affect your budget is your home's location and the kind of weather and things like that you deal with on a regular basis. So if your property is in an area where there's extreme weather, there's heavy snow like in the Northeast or out west, or if you're prone to hurricanes like in Florida or blistering heat like in the southern states, then you're likely going to face higher repair costs for sure. Roofs, HVAC systems, they take a beating in those kinds of climates. So if you're going to have to budget accordingly and put a little bit of extra money in there because you're probably going to have to replace a lot of those systems a little more often than if your home were in a different part of the country. Okay, the next factor is the quality of materials in the previous work that was done. Now, chances are you didn't buy this property brand new, and you have to ask, did the last owners cut corners on repairs? Did they invest in high quality materials? There was one home that we bought personally that was so bad. Everything was done really on the cheap, and we kind of knew it when we bought it, so we just budgeted for that up front. We did a lot, and we knew that we were going to have to do more to that property over time than we would have in other properties. If you're getting a good deal on it like we did, then it's worth it. But you just have to know that going in and plan accordingly. I always say that being cheap is expensive. Cheap fixtures, cheap materials, they cost you a lot more in the long run because they just simply don't last. So if you're not sure what the home maybe you're considering purchasing, is like, you just don't know what kind of quality it is, have a trusted contractor go in and check it out, because the money you pay them to do that will definitely help you either decide, do you want to buy this rental property or not? And it can help you determine a budget that you're going to need so that you don't come up against surprises. So in order to save money on repair and maintenance costs, I've got a few tips that can help you save some cash. So first, think about really setting up a regular maintenance schedule. Just like anything, being proactive in life is super important, and it's no different in a rental property. Scheduling regular maintenance, whether you do it yourself or you have a service contractor come in, just make sure it gets done, because it's really important. Make sure your filters are being changed on a regular basis by your tenant, but check it. Make sure your gutters stay clean, have your plumbing inspected, have your HVAC system serviced a couple times a year. These small little things can really prevent big costly mistakes later. Second, have an emergency fund, just like we talked about before. Build this up. You want to aim to have 3 to 6 months of money set aside for those bigger unexpected repairs, not to mention some vacancies. But things like if you have to replace a roof or an HVAC system in the middle of the summer, you don't want that to set you into a financial tailspin. So having a big buffer like that is going to help you just remain calm and cool and be prepared for whatever comes your way. And third, get the right insurance. Now, you want to make sure that you really have the right insurance policy as a landlord. The landlord insurance policy, which can cover damage from storms and fires and tenant accidents, and it's worth every penny. So make sure you have adequate and ample coverage. You also want to make sure that your tenant has the proper renter's insurance, because that also protects you and your property. So if you want to learn more about renter's insurance, then check out this video that I did all about renter's insurance and why it really does help you as well as a landlord. Okay, so just to recap, when you are thinking about your budget and how much should you really have to start with, 1% rule is a good place to start. But then based on the other factors that I mentioned, like the location, like the age, like the wear and tear, and the history of repairs, that will help you determine whether you need to budget a little bit more or if that's an ample amount. And don't forget, stay proactive with regular maintenance and upkeep, and build up that emergency fund too. And really all of this just means planning ahead will minimize the headaches you have down the road. So there you have it. Hopefully that was helpful. Always know that you need to budget. Don't just wing it and hope that nothing goes wrong, because always there's going to be something that goes wrong. It's just part of the way it is, and you have to plan to spend money. So just use this as a guideline. I hope this was helpful. Please give it a thumbs up, and I hope you'll subscribe to our channel for more helpful information like this. Share it with those you know. And until next time, take care.